let you know when we are live. Check, 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 check. Check, check. Check, check. Ooh. It says TopShelf Fandom is live. Wonder what they're up to. Let's see. I'm waiting for it to come through on my phone here, but I think we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you can hear me, but I'm waiting for it to pop up on the old screen. Oh, it's got an ad on it. Some asshole fucking monetized this. So I think we are live, though, Johnny. So please cut out that terrible, terrible talk that you had going. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Can everybody hear us? Let me make sure here. Okay, I think we're good. All right, everybody, what's going on? I'm Justin Thomas. Welcome to Top Shelf Fandom. I am joined with Johnny B. Crazy, and we are doing a random fandom stream where we're going to talk about The Expanse, or more specifically, Johnny will, and we are going to be talking about Vikings Season 6, a little bit of Peaky Blinders, and then we also are doing a brand new concept. It's almost Justin bullshit proof. I set 30 seconds. I even made a little graphic where we got to do a pitch. We probably needed 60 seconds, but we each have a property in which we're going to pitch, and it's a little fun, a little something for you, a little something for me. So we're trying something out. But in these times of darkness, in this post Game of Thrones world, we are going to try to keep things. It's not really all that dark at all. It wasn't the first story. It isn't going to be the last. But anyways, we're going to be doing these, and there's actually a lot of good stuff coming out. And Johnny, why don't you say hello to the folks? Let them know where they can find you, and everybody, thank you that is here, and tell your friends about it too.
Yeah, what's up, everybody? Don't forget to hit all those buttons. Share this shit out. Do what I say, or something like that. No, thank you so much for having me on. I'm Johnny B. Crazy. This is going to be a really, really good end of the year as far as TV goes. At least that's what it looks like. We got a lot of good shows coming out on the docket. Everything from here in October all the way through December. I don't know. I'm pretty excited to talk about it. A lot of names to remember, but that's about, my only thing I'm worried about.
Yeah, you'll be good, dude. I mean, words are tough. So Johnny, do you have the actual YouTube stream up so you can see the visuals that I have?
Yeah, man, I got it up.
Okay, cool. Because I'm going to play a little bit of this trailer. I'm going to try not to get a copyright strike, but we're going to jump right into The Expanse. We got season 4, I believe. I admittedly have not finished season 3, so I'm going to shut the fuck up for this one. I love this trailer. That's all I'll say about it. Like, it's a cool trailer, but Johnny's got a little bit of insight into it, and I am loving The Expanse, but I have a lot of respect for it, both as a property and both for the people that are part of the fandom, so I'm not going to go in all willy-nilly. I've been taking my time with it, and it's a fantastic series. So Peaky Blinders just kind of has got me all tied up for right now. But Johnny, I'm gonna play this, and then I'll let you take it away, brother.
May I ask you something? Do you miss Earth? These endless blue skies, free air everywhere, and open water all the way to the horizon. When you spend your whole life living under a dome, even the idea of an ocean is almost impossible to imagine.
They are an entire culture working together to turn a lifeless rock into a garden.
Yes, it is.
We had a garden.
Yeah, I was like,
season 1 trailer, bro.
Yeah. All right, let's jump to the.
Takes me back.
No, that's a good one too. But yeah, we were just getting you warmed up. Hold on. Let's see. Give me the new one.
Oh, it's amazing to see that triple budget in this new trailer. Y'all see a difference immediately as well. Higher budget, better production value. Doesn't always necessarily mean a better show, but we already know the story's good here. These 8 books that are just fantastic. I'm only through the second one. Gotta go pick up Abaddon's. I gotta go pick up Abaddon's Gate. It's really good reading.
Test
as well.
file lined up.
One of the co-authors is a George R. R. Martin protege. It's a similar style of writing. I'm not gonna lie. Lots of POV perspectives. That's how
So 45 minutes later, we'll have it.
Well, I'll talk about it a little bit while you do whatever you need to do, man.
Let's just. I think this is the actual. Let's see. This is 5 days ago. So one more try. If not,
it's a good one. It's worth the wait.
No, I love these. First off, I just get the Comic-Con stream just got unblocked.
We meet in an hour of change and challenge.
Here we go.
In a decade of hope and fear. In an age of both knowledge and ignorance. The greater our knowledge increases, the greater our ignorance unfolds. For the eyes of the world.
Come on. It'll come.
Now look into space. To the moon and to the planets beyond. And we have vowed that we shall not see it governed by a hostile flag of conquest, but by a banner of freedom and peace and understanding. For science has no conscience of its own.
I'm going to go ahead and pause it because we're going to get a copyright strike and let you take it away, Johnny. I will say one thing. That is everything that a epic trailer should be, and I'll let you take it from there.
Yes, it does not give you too many spoilers. It gives that sense of longing and expectation for the show and gets you excited about it. We left off on season 3. James Holden interacted with this artificial planet, the Switch, the ring switch. I can't remember exactly what it's called. But it activated the rings, and he seemingly intermingled with the proto-molecule somehow. We find out that this ancient alien civilization is still going to be a driving force here in this series, which, come on. Who doesn't like an ancient alien civilization as long as it's not corny? And what they left behind was a massive amount of wormholes or gates. The Soul Gate is the one they went through. And they will be going through actually James Holden and crew are going through the Illis Gate. The planet we see in the trailer is planet Illis. It's the illest planet of them all, as Justin would say.
Yeah. I did get that joke in earlier. Yeah. Yeah.
And, we still have everyone back on Earth. This is a new race for colonization again. This is colonialism come again. We're going to see the 3 separate classes, just as we've seen them. All 3 vying for space, for land. Other people are going to go through different rings, or have, at least in the books, they definitely did. So we have a chance of seeing other spaces, and we're definitely going to see the inner soul, or the solar system that we live in, back on Earth, back on Mars. Avasarala's back there and back in charge, seemingly. I really kind of love her character. You get endeared to her, and in the book, she's like a grandma figure. That's kind of how Bobby Draper sees her. Speaking of Bobby Draper, she's back, surviving from bullet wounds, falling off down buildings and all that. But this is James Holden as Christopher Columbus. They're the Spaniards, kind of, in a sense. I think we're going to see a lot of that. You're going to see new diseases. You're going to see.
Not good. I'll say that. I will interrupt that. So Columbus, yeah. I take your time. Yeah. He takes you. Yeah, he's not good. Yeah, it turns out.
No, yeah. This isn't going to be good. They're not doing it out of the kindness of their heart. The only person that, has all these crazy altruistic views is James Holden. And he has Miller back, but Miller is more of the investigator now. So it's not necessarily Miller, but the proto-molecule is alive, thinking and talking to James Holden. It's pretty damn cool. It's
we have everybody alive, right? From the original, from the Canterbury, right?
Yes, the ones that were off of the Canterbury.
Yeah,
all of our main crew is still alive for sure. Going through a bunch of changes. James Holden may not come back from this.
You froze a little bit there. Let's see what's going on.
But Miller's definitely there leading him through shit. Sorry, I probably dropped for just a second. But it is really trippy. And something made this advanced civilization go extinct, you know. And that's going to probably start coming more into play. It wasn't the proto-molecule that killed them. The proto-molecule in the end, what happened on Venus, you remember how Miller and Julie went into Venus?
Yes.
Well, the proto-molecule took a ship that was orbiting it, checking it out, took it apart, put it back together, did a bunch of shit, and then it built the ring out near Uranus or Neptune. And the ring goes into this artificial planet that has 100 and, dang, I don't know how many of them. It's like 180, something like that. I don't know the exact number, but it's hundreds of rings that go to different solar systems, habitable and uninhabitable.
Yeah, the proto-molecule almost terraforms humans and these worlds from what I've taken. It's kind of like a commentary on what they've done with their colonization of Mars. It seems to really, you know, like break down these people, but there's still a semblance of them. So it's very interesting. It seems like there's a taste of history in there, and there's a taste of that fucking like spectacle, that fucking fantastical aspect of this science fiction. And I mean, that's what I'm taking from it. I haven't finished season 3, but that's such a great mix. We know, you know what I mean, of having that, like you said, you get that taste of colonization, which, you know, leaves a foul taste in a lot of people's mouth. The people that get, you know, colonize where they colonize. Yeah. People, there's always the other side of the conquer, you know, those that get conquered. So,
and you know, besides the acting and all that, this show has the one thing I think for me makes great sci-fi. The unknown, the fear of the unknown. What is the unknown? Just all of those unknown questions and exploration. You got to tip your hat to the show, because a lot of people go really grandiose when they show visions of the future. You know, this is 300 years in the future, and we're just getting out to the asteroid belt. They're still having real world problems, issues with technology, and the realism of this, the fact that this is more than likely a reality. We're definitely going to try to colonize Mars. There's already people volunteering to go. It's, I don't know. It just makes you ask all those questions, and it gives you a little sense of pride. As humans, we seem to be explorers at heart. Curiosity.
Because we keep ruining where we go because we're parasites.
I'm not saying we're good people or anything. I'm just saying.
No. Yeah, I hear you. No, definitely. And it's very interesting because the people that colonize Mars eventually will become, they won't be, you know, Homo sapiens in the sense that we are. You know what I mean? They will become a different species to a large degree over time because of exactly what the Expanse shows. And like you said, it's like, yeah, it's very fantastical, and there's a spectacle to it, but it's very grounded, because just because you leave the galaxy doesn't, if you leave and there's still humans there, you know, you still have human problems. So yeah, you can't move away from your problems even if you go to a different star system. So yeah, I've loved the Expanse. I'm only through season 2. I've loved it so far. I think there's a great dynamic. Me and you talked about doing a few things on it within these characters, and they play those the litany of threads, story threads that this series has. It has quite a few, just as many as Game of Thrones in some sense, maybe a few less, but you know what I mean? They really thread them together well, and they're meaningful. They don't take you on too many wild goose chases, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to try to get caught up, but like I said, I have a deep respect for this fandom. Is very welcoming. I'll say that. I was very, sometimes, you know, well, I'm always very respectful because as a content creator going in and like joining these groups on Facebook and talking with people that have loved it since the very beginning. Shout out to Amber, who one of my Patreons and friends that sent me the first book. You know what I mean? Like, but they're totally welcoming. They're not like, because sometimes you can feel like, well, I'm in here and they know I'm making videos and stuff. So there's always that, you know, opportunistic, like, you know, like coming in like, hey guys, what's this all about? But you know, it's a wonderful story and I want to respect it. Why put out a video that's not saying anything new when, you know, like you get some great stuff by Alt that's out and so forth. So I want to give it its proper due. It's a fantastic series, so I'm loving it. And so when's the release date on this?
December 13th.
December 13th.
Pretty sure that's it.
And thank you, everybody. Okay, we got Bravosi Broadcasting here. Dark Mother AK. Major. Let's see. Laura Dane of Starfall, Mackenzie, what's up? We have, I apologize because we have Fandom Descent in here. That's unfortunate. We got Milt, the Westerosi Ninja. What's up, brother? I owe him big because I got screwed. I didn't do the Jeopardy thing. So check out the Westerosi Ninja's thread of Jeopardy and trivia matches that he's got going on. They're pretty cool. And he Westerosi Ninja says, can't wait to see the storyline in the Kievan Rus with the Vikings. Yes, Venjenz. I've talked about this before, and that's what we're going to jump to right now. I am not too informed on Oleg of Novgorod. I know, everybody's going to say that a little bit different. I'll get it down. But I am very informed about the Ruslins and about, the Varangian Guard. The Varangians are Vikings that went east. Danes that went east. Danes that went west are Vikings. You go a Viking or you become Varangian. So they went down to the Byzantium, and they worked as guards to the princes down there and to various warlords and noblemen. And they went and they sold their seaxes down there. So it's very interesting that they got Ivar over there. Let's take a quick look at this trailer. My boy Kane McKay came. I was so pumped. He came out with a awesome video. He does the breakdowns for these, and I was so happy to see him back for this. This is a very interesting trailer. Let's see. This is pretty cool stuff here. I will say before it starts that, Johnny, did you notice how many fucking Rus get slaughtered on the beaches like it's Normandy here? Like, they run to these beaches so quick, but they don't put their shields up. Watch, it's crazy. Like,
well, I'll go into my rant about Ivar and Bjorn just suntanning amongst bodies, but we'll get into that. It seems like there's maybe a little more of what we got last season going on this season. The stuff we didn't like, but I'm still excited to see this because I like this fucking story and whatever.
Yeah. I'd like, ever hear Death by Pen? You could attribute that to Floki, but I'd like to kill the writer that put Floki in that fucking story thread. But he'll come back. But anyways, let's take a look at Bjorn here, and see what's going on.
I know your reputation. I know how many battles you have won. But still, you have no idea.
McKay brought this up. It almost like reminds me.
People of Kattegat! I am but your humble servant.
You are a great man, but even great men make mistakes.
There's a lot of questions in here, too, that Bjorn's asking that seemingly I wish would have been asked before he took power. You know what I mean? Some things he should have went through before he took power, but we'll get into that.
Well, you know how it goes. I mean, how many times have you taken over a trade port in Jutland and that is somehow a kingdom that is a sliver of land, and then you forgot to ask questions about it? You live and you learn, man. Yeah, there is in that correct me if I'm wrong, is that Bjorn's first wife that we're looking at here?
Wait, I can't tell, man. Hold on.
The one that got her face? No, I'm so sorry.
No.
She's the one from last season. I'm sorry that got with her. Okay, my bad. Yeah, I'm sorry, Bjorn. Sorry, I didn't keep track completely of every woman that Bjorn's been with.
Broomhilda or something.
Yeah,
like
this
that.
is the one that was with Oleg first. Oh yeah, never mind. I thought you remember I forget her name, but she got her face bashed up, pretty bad.
Oh yeah, what's the name of the Rus that Ivar's with? Lady Laura Dane's asking.
Well, that's Prince Oleg of Novgorod. So okay. He is in the actual mythology for them. I'm sorry, why am I blanking on the fucking name for the Viking mythos? But he is never cited though as any ruler that conquered any Western peninsulas, like he didn't take any Western kingdoms. He didn't go to England. He didn't go to anywhere in Scandinavia. He stayed in the Rusland, and he's a founder of Kiev and all that. Like, he helped with that. He started the dynasty over there. So, like, over in the Baltic. So,
And we got to talk about that plot line. Are they going to pick? I think they're going to pick up with that in the second half of season 6. I'm hoping they do.
So I guess let's just rehash it. It's been a while since I've even thought about Vikings, but we ended with obviously Bjorn taking Kattegat because that was something he said he wanted at the end. And Ivar, going all incognito to the Rusland, and he's been hiding out there. So it looks like he's going to go with Oleg and get himself an army, and probably walk way more than somebody that can't walk should walk. But all jokes aside, it looks like they're going to invade, and spoiler alert, because it kind of shows it in this trailer, that we will see what looks to be a depiction of Bjorn and Ivar, coming together again. But Oleg of Novgorod, it was never cited in any of the Viking history of doing anything that had to do with going to Jutland or Denmark or Sweden or England. Nothing west of the Rus. So they're playing a little bit with history, but it's the History Channel. So what are you gonna do? I don't have any big beefs with that. So let's see. Take the note of his mannerisms, though. He is totally channeling.
I've seen enough of war. I've seen enough of death.
She aged again. They'll probably de-age her, though.
It is time to elect a king who will defend us. A king for all Norway.
She's got that Benjamin Button.
Yeah, he is actually the land in which this gentleman he brought Christianity actually to the Danes, but he actually rules a large portion of Norway.
Then you're on hindsight.
I hope that things will proceed smoothly.
Do you know any reason why it should not?
I have decided to treat your arrival
cannot think
here
of the
as a
fucking
sign.
phrase Viking sagas for the last 5 minutes.
The boneless.
Well,
There, so his hair looks terrible. He looks terrible. I don't care for him, but he hopefully is going to get treated like shit by this gentleman, because right now what you need strain on this protagonist, because unfortunately he is a protagonist here. You need strain on Ivar. This is his comeuppance, right? This is him paying for all this bullshit that he did, because he rose to the top fairly fucking quickly. In York, he got all the people behind him right away, and he's just been a powerhouse ever since. So he needs to be down in the mud, because in my opinion, we're going to have 10 episodes of this, which is surprising, because I do believe they need to get going with the final confrontation with Alfred. But I think the second part, 6B, the 10 episodes there, because essentially you have 2 seasons left. You get 20 episodes, will be, in my opinion, some sort of take on when Danelaw, Gutrid is not in this, but goes into Wessex, and they break their alliance on during the holidays, and they go to I think it's Kensington, and they raid, and they almost kill Alfred, and Alfred has to retreat to the marshes and all that. So and then they have their final showdown. So this right now should be his time to be in the mud. You know what I mean? Like, and come back. And then there should be some type of reconciliation with Bjorn or whatever, however they're going to deal with that, in my opinion. But you got to get him to a point where he learns from his mistakes and comes back and has that final chess match with Alfred.
Well, he has to learn family is power as well. That's one thing that he did on his rise to power. That's why he rose so fast, because he betrayed his family or his blood. But that's nothing uncommon in Viking culture either. But as far as the storyline, I definitely agree with you there. I'm kind of wondering, they're going to have to do something with these characters. I don't think the one person, it makes me wonder if they'll do anything like real history, but maybe Bjorn will be able to retire, and the real sagas. He retired was able to retire as king. And who did he put his friend or his brother? I can't remember who he put on the throne.
Bjorn is a Swedish king, and Ivar was in Ireland, and I do believe he put a and then you have Ubba, who was with Guthrum and over in East Anglia where Danelaw was, and Guthrum violated the treaty with Alfred. Essentially, remember what happened with the Black Danes last season, how Uhtred, I got last kingdom. Hey, Bernard Cornwell is really good. I've been reading the Saxon tales or stories. Very, very good stuff. But anyways, Ubba essentially, I think, is being portrayed as is given the history to a point of what Guthrum did, because Guthrum and Ubba in real life supposedly were together. Guthrum was not a son of Ragnar, or didn't even claim to be one, but he was more powerful than Ubba, and Ubba was, if you read the sagas and you look at Ubba's story, it is essentially like he's the second man to Guthrum the whole time, but there is no Guthrum here. So the Black Danes, when he fought with Alfred against them, and then they settled for land in East Anglia, that's what Danelaw would have became. And then after I think 1 or 2 winters, Guthrum betrays Alfred, and he strikes during the holidays, and Alfred and his family are almost slaughtered, along with all their people. So they have to go and retreat to the marshes. And then he comes back and he calls up all the fjords and all that stuff, and he gets England together. And then, they've been foreshadowing this whole Alfred versus Ivar thing for a while, though. So I don't believe that, we won't get it. But Ivar and Alfred never went head to head.
Look, I think they may even go with this Bjorn route with that. He's kind of finding love here. He may die, which I'll be fine with. Maybe, I don't know if they'll do anything like that. It's kind of like Mackenzie was saying in the chat. So a lot of these characters need to just die already. And I don't say that in a bad way, but I feel like Bjorn, going back to the retirement thing, I kind of think he would be able to do that. And maybe this is how maybe they become close again. I don't know how that would happen, but
yeah,
weirder things.
The argument is that, Bjorn, if they're not going to do anything more with him in the Mediterranean, because that was what they were alluding to, but he already did. He went there twice. It was kind of lame, and he did serve. Bjorn, we saw what a Varagian guard essentially was when he went there. That was their depiction of it, how I took it. But there is I'm very surprised, and we'll get back to this, though. I do want to touch on something that I was kind of skeptical about if they were going to go into the Rus, because of what's known as the actual fucking Norman problem, the Norm problem. It's essentially and I have no skin in this game whatsoever, but it is a real thing that, that the Russian people, because remember, there is no Russia at this point. This is Rus. This is Rusland. It's the Baltic states. It's Ukraine and so forth. And, Russia eventually gets formed. But Russian nationalists do not consider themselves, for the most part, to have any Scandinavian ancestry. They believe that the Danes traveled through on their way to Byzantium, and they set up shop, and they had some trade, but they did not assimilate, and they did not have anything to do with the cultivation of their culture. This is a pretty testy issue. If you go into any just look up Varagian guard and go to YouTube and search that, and go to some videos where they explain it. You'll see Russian, you'll see some arguments down there. You'll see people fighting about it. So my point is that some of them reject the idea that their ancestry has any Scandinavian aspects of it whatsoever, elements of it. They're Slavic, it's a Slavic culture. So Russia's fucking huge. I'm just bringing that to light, that it's not something that is without controversy. But it's interesting that they're going there, but they're definitely not doing anything. Notice how they're bringing Oleg from Novgorod over here, right? They're not having them invade the Rusland. They're having the Rus and, these Kievan princes come over and go to, Scandinavia. Specifically, I mean, Kattegat is in Jutland. So, I mean, whatever.
The Battle for Kattegat, Part 22.
Yeah, Kattegat. Remember how fucking... It's so funny because Ragnar, he just want to get the fuck out of there. Like,
yeah, it's like
the only person that has done what Ragnar and Lagertha and like their initial goal is to get Ube has secured that farmland over there with the establishment of they didn't say Dane law, but East Anglia is where that Dane law is not a law. It is the territory in which it's East Anglia, and they had all their own courts and their own justice system, their own taxes. And Alfred's like, you guys be cool, and they're like, we'll be cool. And like I said earlier, and then Guthrum's like, let's not be cool. And they break the treaty. So it's interesting that they're having this gentleman come over here. So
Alfred did something to deserve it, probably. Who knows, really, with real history, you know what the real history is that's written, but you don't know if that's exactly what really happened, honestly. That's
who wrote it, when they wrote it, who they wrote it for, why they wrote it. So it is very very, very telling. When monks write things, it's obvious, that they're going to demonize the Danes, but the Danes assimilate within 2 generations. You give people some farmland and some ladies, and the ladies some men. They get it didn't take them long. So, anyways, let's jump back into this. Getting a whole. Did you ever watch the Angels and Demons? It was on Stars, I believe. The Da Vinci series.
Not this.
They don't Vlad the Impaler. This is kind of like, in no way are they the same people, guys. I'm not. Don't even accuse me of saying that. I'm saying that these armors and all this are saying this. Don't blame me.
I have ordered construction of a great fleet for the invasion of Scandinavia.
He doesn't look Slavic.
And you can help.
I will say they had a betting ceremony, LLD in the
matched upon your brothers.
Elspeth and Alfred.
The Rus are coming.
Our country's in grave danger.
Don't ever betray me. I'll be dear to my dogs.
Ragnar come again, right?
Yeah. Well, okay. In full disclosure, Ragnar has been spotted on Travis Fimmel on set. Okay, guys. When Michael Hurst kills people, his main characters, you always get the same thing: a white horse, and you get you get visions of the people from their past.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they're on. So that is, and I have no problem with that. I mean, the production, like, I think it was beautiful. Even the Tudors, I'm a fan of the Tudors, but I'm also like a history fucking fanatic. So like, I'm well aware that that's not what happened. But like, I don't go to Showtime to learn history. I don't.
No, and you can't. Like, if you can't go to the History Channel to learn history. If you want to learn history, you got to look it up yourself, and you've got to sift through some stuff that's just some bullshit. Honestly, that's kind of the price you pay with the internet nowadays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're dealing with it right now. The Lady Jane of Starfall says yes. Thank you so much. It was it was Da Vinci's Demons, and it was fantastic. I loved the first season of that. It was really, I thought it was fucking fantastic. I think it fell apart towards the end, but it's really a series you don't hear many people talk about. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very interesting depiction of those times. It was very fantastical. Again, yeah. If you go to here looking to learn about history, you should go to these series with a desire to be immersed in these worlds, and then you should walk away if you want to learn about these times, and then with this being your inspiration to go and do real research, like read some shit.
Helps you in theory crafting. It's fun to theory craft about stuff, about what you think could happen even after a show's over. What happens after that? If you know the real history, you can I don't know. I just love stories, man. I think stories are the soul of humankind. Without stories, I don't think we're anything. I don't know. There's something about it.
No, there. Well, you know my these. We are storytelling animals, my friend. You put we try to look back at our life and put it in the 3 acts. We try to find that beginning, middle, end. That's what stories are the depiction of events that are it's very clean and crisp, but it hits on your emotional spine. We are not creatures of logic. You can take every piece of information that is given to you and throw it to the wind as soon as you see a story where you're immersed into somebody else's life. So you can tell people all day that sharks are going to kill you or don't kill you, because I think sharks kill one person every 5 or 10 years, but then you see a picture of a shark with its teeth all bloody and stuff like that, and you fear it when we're really the predators. It's just we are emotional beings. We're not driven by logic, we're driven by our emotions. So in more intelligent you are, that's just the better you are at manipulating the data that goes to you, Milt. So the higher your IQ is, it is proven that you just are better at manipulating that data that comes to you. If you don't want to believe in something, you will just find fucking a way to make it work. So yeah, let's see, Vikings: The Last Kingdom combo. Yeah, Milt, definitely. In Bernard Cornwell, my brother got me some of the audiobooks from the Saxon stories, and they are fantastic. That's the inspiration for The Last Kingdom. That's what The Last Kingdom is adapted from. The Last Kingdom is a better depiction of the Danes as a whole. Vikings is a better series if you're looking for big, what we're seeing right here, action, and if you're looking for some epic boss fights, as I Bjorn has quite a few. But really quick, the audiobooks, guys, and I'm assuming the novels as well, because that's I've only listened to them, but the way Cornwell depicts fucking organized chaos, the way he talks about the shield wall and the fucking battles in those books, I will stake my reputation on it for what it's worth, that there is no better depiction of medieval battle than the Saxon stories that I have come across. I'm telling you, he has a way to make you really understand these chaotic situations. That's why I say controlled chaos, and you feel like you're in the shield wall. But surprisingly, The Last Kingdom, in my opinion, falls short visually. The adaptation, of course, it's not the books, because the books will always be the best at being themselves. But this series, Michael Hirsch does do a fantastic job with the production when it comes to the fighting here. Just the way when he uses the stylized slow motion and the Ragnar getting the spear that goes by and you hear the breath stop and then it's whoosh, and it goes and it thrusts you right back in visually, and you're audibly thrusted back in as well as visually. It's really good. So it's kind of like a switch around. You can go ahead.
I went to search for
I was just gonna say, maybe you could say Vikings focus more on the individual character of the culture instead of the culture as a whole. Whereas The Last Kingdom, which I love, you don't get that as much separation in characters, and they're distinguishable, but you don't. I don't know. I don't feel the same connection with as many characters as I do in Vikings. But I think The Last Kingdom is arguably a better show. For sure. The story. It's a tough call, but early seasons of Vikings compared with it,
I think you hit it on the head, though. I think you definitely hit it on the head with what you said, that Vikings is this is great man history, which isn't all that great. But The Last Kingdom is a very much so a more truthful, at least, I'm the books, guys, I cannot, I honestly, when my brother, it was 2 months ago, I was over, we were having a few drinks, and he has read all the Sharp books, and he's read all of these the Saxon stories, and there's more coming out, but they end cap them when you can read 4 of the books and then you're good. There's resolution, you get the whole story, and then it goes on from there to Alfred's the people that rule after him, his son, and then people, I won't get into it, but anyways, very, very good stuff. But The Last Kingdom, I think you nailed it on the head. It's a better depiction of the Danes in England than this is. This is definitely great, but this is far more epic, and it's very entertaining in the sense of like we get all these like prolific characters from the sagas, right? But like they deal with it more realistically because it was Ragnar's son. Everybody claimed, if I was back then, I'd be like, yeah, I'm a Ragnar's son. I'm nobody said Lothbrok or anything like that, but it is what it is. I like it. I don't like hearing Uhtred, son of Uhtred, and then he's like, and then he had a kid named Uhtred. It's like, God damn, name something else. But yeah, I can't recommend the Sharp series, even though Ned Stark's in it, Ned being in the adaptation. But my brother says they're good. I can recommend the Saxon stories. They are fucking fantastic. I challenge you to find me better depictions of medieval battle, because if you find me something better, I'll be just fucking thrilled. They're fantastic. But it's kind of a switch, in my opinion, when it comes to the visual medium. But again, adaptions are adaptions, people. Books are always the best at being books. It's a fact.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll say something controversial since you're usually the one saying it. The writing past couple seasons on Vikings been bad, in my opinion. It's just not been the best storytelling.
What? Oh, I'm sorry.
Shut up.
Vikings hasn't been the best storytelling. Is that
not the best story? Not the past couple seasons hasn't necessarily been the best storytelling. It's been slightly a letdown, even though I still enjoy it. And we're critiquing it here, right? I'm not gonna watch something I don't like, but let me critique it. You definitely don't have to agree with me. You can think it's the best thing ever, but Bjorn's plot line, very, very simplistic. He has a rock for a head last season, which I don't necessarily understand. He was smarter as a teenager. I'll just put it that way. He turned a little bit of Jon Snow on us, I think. But I think we're going to see some more development of his character. That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah. And he's going to have to struggle a lot more, and we're going to get to intimately know Bjorn with power, which anybody with power is a complete different person without. It doesn't matter because it's the situation.
I mean, you're absolutely Bjorn. First off, I mean, if anybody has seen my videos from last season, I spent like 40 hours like making a silly animation with like a whole bunch of like depictions of somewhat based off other content creators. Like people that I consider Ivar fuckboys. Like, how do you like that character? Bjorn was like, they just told you that he wanted to be King of Kattegat. I was like, I didn't know that. And he was sitting around for half of last season. That's what happens when you have story threads that are, again, let's not talk about Game of Thrones too much, but that's the Jaime situation. It's when you have characters that aren't caught up. Like, you needed, when you have ensemble cast and then you have multiple, main threads, you're not always even. So you run into Bjorn. Just first off, I mean, the guy is just like I get confused about who he's with or who's taking care of his kids, except for I know it's never him.
Gotta have an ancient STD, man.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, he sat around over in England, and then they had the whole Magnus thing, and it was just a whole bunch of hurry up and wait. And then they tried to have him take Kattegat like that meant something. That didn't mean anything to me. Like, it will actually mean more to me. It's seeing Ivar try to take it back, even though I hate Ivar, because at least they've depicted Ivar in the sense of his motivation is to have that, right? Like, so like that makes sense to me. Like, don't just like give somebody a trophy and say that's what they wanted. Like, you have to actually have them. Like, Bjorn gave zero fucks all of half of last season. He sat around, he banged Athelred's wife. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Broomhild. And then I just gotta throw this at you. Somebody should have died on that beach between Finehair and Bjorn. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. That's a big question. I'm putting it in the chat right now. Let's get a vote on what's better, Viking or The Last Kingdom.
People are passionate about this, and
it's very hard because I gotta say I like them both, and I think man, I feel like a cheap whore to say that really the battle in Vikings, the battle scenes in Vikings, this. Not again. I think I've kissed its ass enough. I love the books. I love the Saxon stories. The adaptation is not that. But man, I think that as far as entertainment goes, guys, I'm gonna be a whore here and say it's Vikings. Even though trust me, like, I can't stand Ivar as a character. I can't stand that he just walks around. Because I don't know what type of message that sends. Like, if you do have a disability, it's like, because he didn't like overcome it. He just wanted, like, they realized that it looked like weak for him to do, so they had him start walking. Like, what's that message? If I like was paralyzed, I'd be like, I guess I want to walk more. I didn't want to walk more. He didn't struggle. He never struggled. Like, they never questioned him whatsoever. And then they're like, oh, he had to beat all of it. It's like his technique for because he was known as a tactical, he was known as a tactician. He was known to have tactical skill. The sagas say that. The Saxon accounts do mention that he was a great tactician. He was really good at guarding their boats and getting on their boats when they needed to. That's a big part of the Danes' battle plans, was protecting their longships. But anyways, not to get into it. But okay, what did Ivar do? He told Bjorn, maybe we should go look at the land before we fight. And Bjorn's like, why would we do that? It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, yes, we're talking like 2000 BC. They're looking at the land. You need to look at the ground you fight on. Like that.
Everybody knows you fight at the bottom of a hill.
They're like, he's a tactical genius. He wanted to look at the field. It's like, no, just because Bjorn was an idiot, like, okay, if I know, if I beat a fifth grader in Jeopardy, does that make me a fucking genius? No, you know what I mean? Like, you don't achieve greatness by beating fools. You know what I mean? So like his tactical prowess has never been depicted in any believable sense, and I'm giving it error for a margin of error for they're not trying to like really go too deep in the tactics of the day. They're not going to like get all nuanced with it and talk about the line battles and that, because realistically a lot of these guys would have spears and they don't have spears. There's a lot of different things that would be happening, but let's go a step further. Then let's go look at the fucking ground. You know what I mean? I'm like, I guess he's a genius. You know what I mean? It's a little crazy.
That's all he has to do. And the real Ivar never walked. Now, I'm not saying he shouldn't have. That's an inspiration. That was one thing that you could say, how he inspired the people to come behind him by overcoming something that usually you were just thrown away if you were born like that. Ragnar pretty much tried to do it. And really quick, before I lose this, Suntivia Major made a comment, and we got a lot of good stuff in here. Travis Fimmel was so amazing as Ragnar. Even when he was a junkie, he basically carried the show, and now the show suffers without him. I would agree with that. I think you have to write for your actors as well, I think. And sometimes if you don't write to cater your actors, you can see what happens.
Well, I mean, you cast them, you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
I think Travis Fimmel is I almost said a special type of actor, but he is a anomaly to me. He is very quirky, and he is very good at evoking emotion, and you can see the people mimicking him. You can see Ivar tries to do it now. You're seeing Bjorn try to do it, but that quirkiness, that goofiness that Travis injected into the character, like that curiosity, like Odin's curiosity, like it was so well played. Travis Fimmel is questionable, like in other. Have you seen him in anything else? I loved him in this, and I'm with you guys. And it's a hard decision to make, because you have to, of course, it's never going to be as good after he left. But if they did have the time, which they do, and just quick side note, people are saying that, oh, this failed, so they're ending it. Why are they ending? They're ending it, I think at the right time. I think it's
like 150 episodes.
They're like, I've seen 2 videos by, mainstream news. They're like, oh, what happened? Why did it become it's like, okay, yeah, some things are pretty bad, but it's not being canceled. It's Hearst wanting to get out of there. But I do think it was worth trying to tell the story of the sons of Ragnar, because I think the casting was a big mistake. I think Ube was the only good cast. I mean, everybody was smaller than me and you, Johnny. Like, remember Sigurd? Like, they killed. Thank God that guy was like 90 pounds soaking wet. Like, it's like
Floki's the only real Viking on set, seemingly, and he's not on set anymore. He's buried under a fucking volcano.
Yeah, but he'll get out of there. But yeah, it's rough. Like, I totally agree. Travis Fimmel has this very fucking odd way about conveying emotion physically. You know what I mean? That is so impressive. And he's kind of a big goofball, and I know he's a big stoner. He's a cool ass dude. I'm not saying he's a bad actor by any means. He knocked this out of the park, but he handled the physicality beautifully. He handled his dialogue beautifully. And Hearst really had something special for the first 3 seasons. You know, and I even think that Alex. I know it's Alex Ho and then Alex Sigurd that plays Bjorn. I think Bjorn has his moments. Like you said, he was much better in the earlier seasons. It just is what it is, you know.
I don't know. Go back and look, but I feel like the script's been dumbed down even more than it was. I'm not saying it was complicated before, but go ahead.
No, it was more grounded before, and now you're dealing with a grander generation, which makes sense to a point because they're sons of kings. Ragnar was a father. So, you know, you can give him a little bit of slack, but yeah, Hearst, man, he's hit and miss. Like sometimes he nails it, and then sometimes it's a fucking disaster. I mean, if anybody's seen my fake phone call with him, you know, but I mean, sometimes he really knocks it out of the park. I guess the only other question for you guys in the chat, as of right now is, what do you think about, you know, Harold, Finehair, because he does become the king, in the real history, and he has been, in my opinion, depicted to do just that. Do you think Finehair will end up in a seat of power or not? I don't see any other reason to keep him around. I would really hate to see Ivar slay him and sit as king of you know, of Denmark.
Well, there's a problem with him, right? He's not a likable character. How they haven't made him that likable in the show, in my opinion. He's gruff. He has a bad personality that you can't get behind and can't necessarily always relate to. He's jealous as fuck. He's not an attractive person, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Not like looks wise, but like how he acts. There's nothing appealing about him. But I do like his character opposing Bjorn. I do like that little conflict. I didn't like how it played out, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and I think they could seat him because I believe, I don't want to tell tales out of school here, but I think it's that he would be king of all of Norway. I'm hoping I'm not getting that wrong. So you could essentially, you don't need to be one or the other. I think you could put him in a seat of power and give it a little bit of, like, you know, history, as well as do others. Because I'm with you. There's not a lot of things that endear you to his character, you know. But he also, let's see how egregious Ivar and everybody else is. Like, you know, we still got a good amount of time to have a flip for him. You know, we got 20 episodes, so let's see what's going on here. I like this brother though. He got weird in the desert, but he fucking didn't deserve to die, man. And it was really weird to me too. I'll stop rant, but it was weird that they had Harold kill him. I was like, man, those brothers were like fucking the only brothers that Hearst had not fighting. And Hearst, like, I mean, does Hearst have siblings? I have to believe if he did, he'd kill them. He never has siblings on screen that aren't trying to kill each other.
I think there is a sibling, but it's under a slab of concrete.
Yeah, probably I would. Yeah, he no way.
Seems the gods brought us together again, my brother. You must enjoy seeing us fight.
Good chance that that's a dream. I'm just saying. Some sort of vision. Also a good chance that it's you know, real. But I'm just saying that that's an odd sequence right there.
Not seeing a sequence on the screen.
Ooh, I just watched it myself without switching it on OBS. Okay.
Justin just having fun, chilling, watching stuff.
Yeah.
You must enjoy seeing us fight.
That.
Yeah, Milt. Yeah.
That. What did you say? Let's see. Yeah. Yeah.
Don't you know it's okay if it's the other way around?
2-hour premiere. So yeah, I wonder if we're gonna get another. This is December 4th, and I do wonder if we will get another trailer that covers England. And one final side note on this, the first time that we see Ragnar in the first scene, the opening scene to the series, Ragnar and Rollo are fighting. They're fighting they're fighting east. They're fighting, again, I'll just say Russia because they're going to say Russia, but they're fighting over, by the Rusland or Kiev, over in the Baltic states. So it's kind of coming full circle. But again, I think that the Norman problem that is having them inject this fictitious siege of Jutland, the little sliver of land. So yeah, I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it, man. It's fun. I think that the first few seasons of the Vikings are something that are spectacular. I think that they're very well done. And I forget what the spin-off is said to be, if they've announced anything for it. But I think Michael Hirst is always good for at least 3 seasons of something, and then you stick around for the last few. But we will go on. Let's see. I think 6B will cover. Yeah, you gotta go ahead and like I would say it's very likely that Lagertha will die. That is why you've got Travis back on set. It's likely that Rollo, I would say, probably will die in the second half of the season, but you don't need Bjorn. I think Johnny was onto something. Bjorn could die this half because what you need for the culmination of these threads is technically you should have Ube over there because he's the one that brokered East Anglia. But what you need is because they've set it up with the Chekhov's chess match with Ivar and Alfred, because Michael Hirsch fucking thinks Ivar's the shit. So you're gonna have that face off. So if there's no way they can't touch back on that. Like they gotta bring that back. It's almost like like a battle of the suns, even though it's Athelstan, so that's kind of a weird take on it, but you know what I mean, like the original battle between England and Scandinavia. So blah blah blah. But yeah, we could easily see the death of I didn't see any Vitschek here, but we could easily see the death of Vitschek. We could easily see the death of Bjorn. I would predict the death of Bjorn and Lagertha this season. I definitely Lagertha this half. Rollo, I don't know if we'll see him until the second half. It would make sense with Francia coming in when they're in fucking England. But we'll see. Let's see. It is Mackenzie does the good predictions for this because she just had I remember last season she had her finger just right on the button for it. Like I'll get caught up in like what the sagas are doing and try to interpret what Michael Hirst is doing, and he's fucking changing his mind accordingly to like what role his daughter's playing and shit. Mackenzie's nailed it so far. So let's see.
Yeah, and then she's like, Judith has a tumor, and bam, she has a tumor.
Hey, wait, we've got Lady Laura Dane says Bjorn has to go back to England to see his kid. Laugh out loud. Oh my god, I hope that you are joking because he gives zero fucks about his kids. Like he just refuses to raise them. But I think she definitely is. I love that.
Gotta hound him for child support.
Yeah, Ivar versus Alfred is the end of 6B. It is what it is. You know what I mean? Like the real history is Guthrum, and there was a Guthrum in this series. Man, they've had so many kids, and there's been all these generations got mashed together within one commercial break. So, but let's see. Yeah, I hope they do showcase I think that the actor who plays Alfred is really good. I think that he's a pretty decent depiction of Alfred the Great, especially the juxtaposition between the one in Last Kingdom, which is also a great one. So let's see. We're gonna go on, and we are gonna talk a little bit about the Watchmen, and you're gonna do a pitch for me now. Full disclosure, I have never seen any of I haven't seen the film. I haven't read any of the graphic novels. I'm aware of it, and we are gonna be doing a little segment here that is going to be a pitch. Now I set this for 30 seconds and I did this graphic and I had to load it to YouTube because we had a little bit of a issue with syncing my phone for Johnny to see, but we will get a better version of this. But this is going to be called let's see, not the Expanse, but let's go here. The fandom pitch. So the idea here is that we have 30 seconds, man. I made it 30 seconds. I was going to go ahead and try to do like at least like a quarter of the St. Crispin's speech from Henry V, because I'm always quoting it because it's like an inside joke between me and my brother, because I find that the patron saints of leather work and cobblers, Crispin and Crispian, it's kind of like, it's a very epic speech that Shakespeare's Henry gives before Agincourt, because that's where the phrase band of brothers becomes prominent, like we band of brothers. It's got those badass lines of that, those who don't want to fight with us, we will send them on their way. We don't want to die with them. That it's got a lot of badass shit in it, but then it's also got a lot of stuff about leather, workers, and showing your scars to people, like after the war. Like, that's the pitch. It's like, you can go show your scars to men on St. Crispin's days, in the future, and you can tell them you got them at Agincourt, so it's like that's like how they sell, how Henry sells it to him. But it is an epic speech, and it's also kind of a silly speech, but it is one of my favorite. It's actually probably hands down my favorite piece of Shakespeare's work. I mean, I think that Henry V is a fascinating character, and I'm going to pitch that. But Johnny, are you ready to pitch me The Watchmen?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do my best, man. Let's do this.
Are you ready? Now hold on,
sure.
Because this is so fucking rigged. Hold on. I'll make it 60 seconds next time. Okay. I'll say go.
All right.
Go.
Well, you have Watchmen, the continuation of the fantastic graphic novel by Alan Moore. This is going to be a separate story set in modern day times. You have everything in the news. You're going to have your classic superheroes, your unclassic superheroes. If you're tired of the new superhero stories, you're going to want to check this out. And I'm screwing this all up, but check out The Watchmen. It's only going to be one season by David Lindelof. The Leftovers, Lost, and
done. I
see?
want to know what.
30 seconds.
I know what. I think I'm pretty fucking impressed, to be honest with you, bro.
I fucking hate it. No.
You sold it on the sentiment that are you sick of all the cliche superhero film? No, it's good. That was actually very good. Because
it's hard to do, man.
No, it's definitely hard to do. I don't even want to do it because I spent so much time doing that. I didn't think of a pitch. But no, that was very good. Pretty much you're sick of all the cliches, Justin. I'm like, I think I am. You want something that's hard hitting? Yeah, I think that it's raw and gritty. It looks like a mix between The Wire and X-Men. Maybe not X-Men, but yeah, no, I'm intrigued. I don't know what.
Yeah, man.
Good job,
yeah,
dude.
Man.
You should go on Shark Tank.
Whatever. I'll be talking about it, but this was just me stuttering over myself, just showing off my speech impediment for the masses. That 30-second timeline, man, you feel the pressure. My ears started getting hot. It's going to be good, man. Dr.
Shut up. You can't pitch it anymore, dude. You're breaking the rules. No, we can talk about it in a minute. And we'll see. Can you check the chat really quick when I'm getting this set up to see? I think there was a few more questions about
my
Vikings.
southern drawl. Thanks, Bravosi. Omar Elatar. Sorry. One question I have before we move on: who would you guys guess kills Lagatha, and when do you think it happens? Man, you want to say Ivar, but they're gonna try to subvert a trope probably there, huh?
I'm gonna go ahead and say that they could subvert it, but okay, yeah, it is problematic. That's a valid point to have Bjorn and Lagatha, as my prediction goes, that I have to stick with, die in the same half, because you'd have to believe that Hearst is gonna go for that fucking low hanging fruit, and Lagatha might die, in a battle, like at the moment where Bjorn is in some trouble. You know what I mean? Because what does Lagatha have to protect now? Her son, right?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And he really leans on her too. This her death is going to change his outlook as well, I believe. And I don't know. I'm really suspicious of Broomhilda, Bjorn's new woman. She wants a lot of fame and glory, and I don't know if it's just, I don't know, something's up there.
Well, I think an ambitious dame is just swell, so I'm not scared of a strong woman. No, I'm with you. Why? I mean, Bjorn is like the biggest horn dog around, which I don't fucking condone. You know, keep it in your pants.
What if she kills her?
He's gonna get a case of Pontiac fever.
The wife takes out the mom because tired of mom taking up all the attention. You know, one of those times. Hey, that could happen. There could be some scandalous shit.
What if she dies saving Ivar's life because Ivar's in battle and then he remembers that he can't walk, so that's gonna be a problem in the shield wall.
She goes to try to save Ivar and then he just stabs her.
Well, if she dies trying to save Ivar, you know, like that could be like it's like, you know, kind of like a surrogate kill, but it would still be dying via Son of Ragnar, right? Like she's dying because she's put her life on the line, but also that could work for Bjorn. It's a little bit, I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and be a bold man and say that Hearst is not gonna take the low hanging fruit, and he isn't going to have Ivar kill her. I just think that that's so on the nose, you know. But also, I don't know. Sometimes when stories tell you that shit's gonna happen, and they keep telling you shit's gonna happen, that shit just happens, and they're like, because that shit happens in real life. You know what I mean? People say they're gonna kill somebody, they keep saying it, and a lot of times they end up doing it. So
it was pretty on the nose last season.
Yeah.
Wasn't many twists, man. And is Vitzer? You know, what's up with Buddha?
Well, that's, you know,
anything
so
going on there?
Well, that's, again, he brought Christian. It's so weird that Hearst makes some weird decisions. I know that he isn't, you know, responsible for teaching us anything, thank God, but it's just so weird because that's the guy that brings Christianity, you know. So like, why does he choose him? You know what I mean? Like, he just choose anybody, and that guy has a mass amount I forget the name, and it's hard to pronounce, of they make it seem like it's nothing, but they use the real name of his province, and it's huge. It's a vast fucking amount of land, man. I don't know. He's a fucking maniac, right? Remember at the battle last? It was just rhetoric. It was just all this crazy shit. Like, he was being spun around on a chair, like during the battle. I'd be like, I would just took my bow and.
He was speaking of Ragnarok. He was reciting the Ragnarok saga, basically.
He's making the troops like, he's like, we're all going to die. Like, I mean, he's not good for morale, man. You know what I mean?
Hell no.
Yeah,
I mean, but they all want to die though too, I guess.
Yeah, they say they do, but you know, they all want to go to. Well, oh man, I just watched a few weeks ago. I hate Eric, right? When he gets his arm and shot with the arrow, he goes to Valhalla. If there's a Valhalla, man, he walks there. It's when they're fighting the Mercians in England. He gets that gangrenous arm. Floki cuts it off, and then he goes up the hill first and fucking like just sacrifices himself. Like, that's a Valhalla fucking death right there. That you know, he gets to go to Valhalla and have lunch with all of his pals, and then they all fight and kill each other.
Or a Viking berserker brunch.
Yeah, ooh, a Viking.
Be happening this year.
Oh, that's really
on my channel. That's what.
Go ahead. No, I like that. Go ahead.
No, that's what we did last year. That's what I called it. The Berserker Brunch.
I thought.
Yeah, you know me and my names.
Yeah. Are you here for the Vikings Berserker lunch? Like, how'd you know? It's like, well, because you're high on mushrooms and you have you have a bear's head tied around you, nothing else. Like, oh,
that's it.
I'm with the Viking Berserker lunch party.
And a crooked stick in your hand.
Yeah. Taking mushrooms and going to fucking close quarters combat, it seems the worst decision in the world. I would definitely be
unless time slows down, and then you're a bad motherfucker.
Man, I've taken my fair share of shrooms, and it's a nice little body, but I mean, it makes you very rubbery. It doesn't make, like, I'd be like, okay, what is like the equivalent to cocaine? And you know.
I want to say they took the fly amanita, which is a different experience. You go into more of a dreamlike state. I don't think it's not psilocybin that's the active ingredient in it, but that's not this stream anyway. Let's keep going.
Well, no, I mean, I'm just not gonna trip my balls off and like go fight people with fucking like knives, you know. The music almost.
Oh yeah, Omar says you guys wouldn't believe that the actor who plays King Olaf is 82 years old. Well, freaking Sylvester Stallone's 73. This guy, I don't
What
know.
happened?
Yeah, I was talking about Sylvester Stallone being 73, and the guy who played.
Oop, you went out.
God damn.
You're back.
I lost internet for a second. Anyways, Olaf's 82 years old. The guy that plays King Olaf in the show. And then Rambo's 73 and killing bunches of people in the new movie, which is ridiculous. Anyways.
No, yeah, well, he looks it. I mean, Sylvester Stallone too. I mean, like his kidneys and liver have to be shriveled up like prunes with all the fucking tests and HGHs thrown in there. But
he's on some good drugs.
Yeah. You get first blood. All right, so let's see. Are you guys interested in the Roos storyline? I believe, if well executed, fantastic. I'm interested in how they're going to handle it. I don't, I would probably go out on a limb here and say, I wouldn't think that you're going to get immersed into the Roos culture. This thread is going to serve any further than getting Ivar as a catalyst to move Ivar back to Jutland, to Kattegat. I think that we will, yes, be immersed in it for the first few episodes, probably 3 episodes in, over there in Kiev and so forth, and we'll get a little bit of a taste of the culture there, and then we'll see them fight. And I think by episode 8, 9, they're either going to sail away or not sail away. They're either going to leave breathing or not. I don't foresee this going any further. The Roos serve a very specific purpose in this part of the story where we're at the stage we're at. We are entering we are in the final act. We definitely we're definitely in the final act. And this is your first attempt to resolve your conflict by Ivar. This will have some success but not work exactly how he thinks, and then he will find a newfound respect, blah blah blah, or for Bjorn or whatever. His goals are going to slightly change because of this interaction. So the Roos will influence him, they will teach him something, they will serve as some catalyst in a lot, just really the catalyst for change for him.
Yeah.
That's
can I say, I'll make a bold prediction. The Roos use Ivar to gain territory, and they betray him basically, and that's why you see Ivar go back to his brothers, because I think he's just going to be used as a tool. If anything, there's what can Ivar give them? Do you know what I mean? Why would the Roos help Ivar? What can they gain? The only thing he can give them is land, and then he's only going to take that so far. So either Ivar's going to try to betray the Roos, or the Roos will betray Ivar. It's just going to be probably that simple, but with the storyline.
I think that makes absolute sense, because first off, again, let's remember that, I know, okay, it is the fictitious depiction of Jutland here, so it is a big kingdom, Kattegat, but even if it is a big kingdom, it urbanized like a motherfucker in the last few seasons, but you're right. Like, what can Ivar give them? He's a puppet prince to them, right? And I don't see the Roos having a foothold in anywhere west of where they're at. I don't think that we're going to see anything like that, because this, Oleg of Novgorod goes on, and he's a main part of their fucking history, for cultivating their culture, I guess, unless Michael Hirst wants to go and have a whole bunch of real blonde haired, blue eyed Scandinavians and just showcase them assimilating over in the Rusland and where Russia becomes, and just to piss them off. I don't know, but again, I brought this up earlier in the stream, it is kind of a touchy subject to go and imply that these Danes had too much to do with there, because the it's kind of split down the middle. Some are just like, they just traded there and they moved on. Nobody did anything. I'm like, nobody had any sex. None whatsoever. It's like, all right, man, all right.
And we know the Rus want to attack Scandinavia. I know it says that in the trailer, Omar. I think it's, and then apparently you've already seen it or something. So please try not to spoil.
Well, no, he said obviously they want to attack it. I mean, why else would they bring Ivar there? And they're saying to Ivar in the trailer, you better not betray me. I mean, it's a.
Well, is it an Ivar the catalyst for that invasion or not? That's the thing. Is he coming to them when they're already planning on invading Scandinavia, or is this Ivar's idea to make them some sort of deal? That's what I mean. There has to be some kind of
driven by and that would only slightly, I mean, I'm not dismissing, that's a valid point, but again, like the end game, I mean, we're meeting this we're meeting this fella Oleg in the last act. He is a narrative, he is a tool, essentially. I'm trying to put it in a his character function is to inject a little bit of culture that we haven't seen and showcase a different society during the time, and for better or worse, let's see how accurately they do it. And he's there to mix things up, and I think that if anything, it would make more sense, right, Johnny, for him to be a binding force with the Sons of Ragnar rather than a further division. I think that he will serve. It would make sense to bring Ivar there. You bring a prince back and help him take his land, and then try to backstab him. So obviously, I think you're onto something, and we see a scene on the beach where it seems as though that is absolutely what happens, but like I said, that could be taken out of context. And it is what it is. That could be Bjorn caught by them just as easily. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and Ivar coming up to
tell him
what's up, because it makes no sense that they're just sitting next to each other. It has to be some kind of somebody won and lost right there. The Rus have far more numbers, depending on how many people they want to invade, but they're not. Don't we see them invade through the water? They're not a huge seafaring culture, but they seem to come up on the beach and
not
interesting.
Omar's bringing up a valid point. Hearst does allude to the he does mention verbatim the Silk Road, but that is, remember Raiden Ivar last season?
Yeah,
that was the Silk. Like, so I think Omar, valid point in something interesting to ponder. How much of the Silk Road will we see this season? Will it just be something that's mentioned in passing and something that we see? I listen, if I was in that writer's room, 3 episodes would be dealing with the Rusland, the Baltic, everything over there. Let's just they're going to call it Russia, so I just didn't start calling it Russia, but in the Silk Road and all that. Like, I definitely think we're going to get introduced to that. I don't think that we're going to have much more of insight into the culture than we'd had with like Francia, like Paris. Like, look at how much actual like insight that we've gotten into Paris. And if you actually like take a step back and think about like how much we've seen other than the battles, and then the little bit of the love connection with Rollo and Gisela, not much. Yeah. How much do you know about Paris at this point? So I would expect about that amount of, exposure, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't, it's just, that's just me. I think that, they got to get these characters back there, maybe 5 episodes, but 3 to 5. And I think that's enough, because I really, again, the history, not that he cares that much, but there's not a lot to work with there as far as Ivar like having any dealings or anything. He has to negotiate with Oleg, right, to get him to, whether or not Johnny brought up, there could be the point where they're like, we were already headed that way anyways.
The Rus want Kattegat.
Well,
tiny
it's
town.
A major trading port, I guess, so whatever. It's important for the show. But either way, we will see a little, Machiavellian, fucking negotiations there. And I think that's about it. But I think that's enough, right? I mean, like, I would love to see more of the Baltic during this period. I don't think this will be the show to do it.
Yeah, and I don't expect to get a complicated story. That's not what you really get with this show, and it's simplistic, and that's kind of why we're keeping it somewhat, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, if they've chosen to go and have the Rus invade Scandinavia, which they never did at this time, we have to think that they're making that leap because like they're not giving you much introspect into the Rus, right? Not like meaning like their land, like because they literally are having. It's like if they had the Nazis like show up on like and I'm not calling it the bad example, but if you had like World War II and you had like China show up at in Florida or something, you know what I mean? Like you're having a whole fucking conflict that didn't exist essentially. Like I know us Americans tend to look at Europe and be like, that's all the same, but it's a big fucking deal to go and bring a foreign army to a foreign land. I mean, like I wouldn't enjoy it, I'll tell you that, and they wouldn't either because we
I mean it's a lot of expenditure for someone without anything guaranteed. What can Ivar guarantee?
Yeah, and like Novgorod and all that, if they want him to be epic, I think that it's more of the sense of like he will help Ivar and then probably betray him. I think that's likely. I'd bet money on it. I'm willing to bet money on it. But also, he goes on, and I didn't need to brush up on it, but I know that he goes on to play pivotal roles within their the cultivation of their culture. Yeah, it's all. I don't want any nationalists coming at me from Russia, so it's all Slavic to me, guys. I don't know what the beef, man. Scandinavians are cool too. They can have a little bit of everything. It's fucking Russia, man. Have you seen that fucking thing on a map? It's huge.
It's giant.
Yeah, it's what Johnny Appleseed went over there and pumped it all out. It's like, it was only one guy.
It really is.
Yeah,
it really is, man.
Yeah, but fantastic stuff. So
by the end of it, we'll see the death of the Norse religion. I think that'd be one thing that they should do, which would be cool, I think.
Well, and it's very, I mean, man, the pagan beliefs, I don't know if there's a quicker assimilation.
I don't like saying pagan because Native Americans are pagan.
Well, pagan,
everybody that worships nature is pagan.
But what else are you going to, they
I hate
were
that
pagan.
Generalization. I guess.
Well, but what else would you refer to them as? I mean, their paganism was not the same as even, there's many different forms of it, but there's not a different
I just wish there was a better way to describe it. I guess
well, don't
just Norse religion.
hate on me. I'm not a fucking
I'm not hating on you, asshole.
I'm not a linguist, dude. I mean, like, what do you want me to do here, dude? Like, I can't be like, okay, I don't know, owl god. You know what I mean? Like what the fuck you want from me, man?
Greek. I want you to obey.
Yeah, fucking.
Go ahead, man.
Fucking etymology over here, dude. A fucking philologist over here. Fucking sorry, token, you dick. Fucking pulling one on me. I just wish you wouldn't say that, Justin. I'm like, is there a fucking word for it?
Not you. I just wish there was a fucking better word because there's so many different types of pagan religions. Anyways, there probably is a better one, but I just don't know it.
Guys, if you want to go ahead and donate to a GoFundMe that I'm starting up to get a philologist and some linguists over here to my friend is carrying such a burden. He cares so deeply about the different pagan, sects. That he is, he's so sick of people, Margin Diana and Apollo and, all of the Greek and then Roman deities. And then there's some Asian pagans too. Did you know about that?
I just want to listen to Earth, Wind, and Fire, man.
Yeah, there you go. He's carrying a heavy, we need to get a different name for it. Also, do you want to tweak any other fucking religions, dude, when you're at it?
Yeah, there's no star in this religion. No pagan star.
Why is that? I don't know that. That has.
I have no idea.
I'm not diving down that route.
But there is a Buddha. So there's a Buddha, and no, I'm just kidding. I don't know. I was thinking out loud when I said that. I wasn't really directing it towards you. That's what happens here. But I appreciate the little diatribe you went on, and I'd like it if you shut the hell up. No.
Well, no. Well, first off,
We hate each other.
No, you know what I mean? Like, if you want to change things around, you just make a New Testament, dude. You know what I mean? Just do it all up sometimes. But you got to get some backings.
I'm about pretentious enough to write a Bible, I guess.
No. If you're going to write one, at least write one that fucking...
Dream of Spring.
Sticks the landing a little better.
Yeah.
Right here, baby. Right here. If you're ever curious about how we got the Bible, read How We Got the Bible and then go, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. So no disrespect. I'm just saying that, you know, if God had a publisher, you know, like, he'd be like, did you get the book to like square everything out? They're like, yeah. He's like, is it this one? They're like, yeah. He's like, this is causing a lot of problems. It's not very fucking precise here, you know, like this isn't very clear. There's a lot of things up in the air here. They're like, yeah, it's a good one. I mean, I'm just saying, if God wrote a book, you'd think it would be fucking like some pretty solid stuff. Like, you know, that book's a little bit of a hot mess. I'm just saying, you know, maybe we'll get George on it and he'll have it out in a few hundred years. So, it's good stuff though. Good stuff. Anyways, now that I've lost one more Patreon out of my 7, probably, yeah.
Let me go check mine.
Yeah, you check it out. Yeah. I mean, don't cry. I was just reading that earlier for real though. You know, it is what it is. Which is questionable. So anyways, let's go to Henry V. This was a swashbuckler, as Trump would say. No, Henry V, probably my favorite work of Shakespeare. I think that it's a great mix between the Shakespearean, you know, the Shakespearean takes on the historical events aren't always my favorite, but I think Henry V, I watched the one that came out in the 80s and I watched the one that came out in the early 90s, and I've seen different depictions of it, especially the Crispin's Day speech, and it's something that I think it holds up still, because Shakespeare still gives you the epic you know, battles and a real immersion into the campaign that led them to Agincourt. You know, essentially Henry V, you know, went over there and then he got stuck over there, and then thank God there was a lot of mud. But I'll go ahead and I'm going to play this, and then I will go ahead and do my pitch. But the point is, you know, Romeo and Juliet, that's all good. Midsummer Night. I mean, I don't know, man. I've seen Shakespeare in the Park, man. I'm a fucking Henry V guy. I like it. It's good stuff. It's a good mix. So let's see what they're doing here on the Netflix.
I like turtles.
You do? I wish there was a different word for turtles. I call them cowards with a nice fucking home.
Films cool again, giving us our first look at the new trailer for the...
Are they putting this out in the theaters? Netflix needs to get their shit together. Nobody's going, like, you can't put something in the theaters and be like, but it'll be on Netflix in 3 days. It's like, pick your fucking medium, bro. Like, nobody's going to the theaters for this
King,
stuff.
Which looks to cover the story of King Henry.
You gotta give 2 months at least.
Henry V of England and the Battle of Agincourt.
Okay, is this a motherfucking, oh, I know, is this Cody Bonds? Sorry. But this is from Netflix. How the hell is this?
Said select theaters. I don't know, man.
Wait, but that was I'm sorry, but I was having narration. Didn't you hear that narration there?
Oh, I can't hear nothing.
Hold on. I had narration from what seemed to be a content creator, and one that I know, and it's on the Netflix official channel. Damn. He must be rising up in the world. Hold on. Okay, so let's go back. So this looks to be right on par here with the depiction in the last film. The only thing that looks to be different is, I keep forgetting this boy's name, but it's played by Joel Edgerton here. He's his fanciful fool almost. It looks like he goes to Agincourt with him when he dies before, usually.
A new chapter of my life has begun.
He's got this flamboyant. I keep forgetting his
Already
name.
I can feel the weight
You'll
of
see
this
it.
crown I wear.
He's got this like flamboyant.
I've been forced to rely upon the counsel of men whose loyalty I question every waking moment.
Best haircut I've ever
around me
seen.
I can trust.
Oh, there's such bad haircuts.
Dude, Outlaw King.
I'm here because you got
Best haircut.
See,
ever.
like, okay.
King has enough friends.
What is his name?
King has only
followers and foe. But I will come with you.
I'm about to get a haircut. I'm sorry.
Hail, King Henry!
Yeah, see, he's never in battle in any of the other depictions. All right, I'll wait for my pitch, but I mean, why does Robert Pattinson look like that? I know he's supposed to be French, but Jesus Christ, isn't that offensive?
I thought that was a woman.
That's what I'm saying. There's other French guys around.
I like the lead singer of Hanson.
Oh, that's right.
When Edward first became a vampire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I forget, man. I can't remember. Whatever. Yeah, I'm not gonna claim to be like a huge fucking Shakespeare, enthusiast. I just like the Crispin's Day speech, and I like Hamlet, and I like this, but I like this. I've enjoyed the movies that came before this. So, and I've watched The Hollow Crown, and that was okay. I don't know. It doesn't always land for me. But here, let's put the timer up and let me give it. I was going to do Catherine the Great. I probably should have. But
it's too late now. 4 seconds, go.
All right, Henry V, you got your classic battle between England and France. We are hopefully going to see quite a bit of action, just like the Outlaw King gave us, with Netflix giving us some pretty tight, historically accurate depictions of these badass battles. And we get to see Head Agincourt, which is this prolific battle that is, going to be known throughout all time. And we're going to see it on screen, and it's free, and Robert Pattinson is in drag, and he's Batman now. There you go. You win that one.
Okay. I don't know, man. I was bumbling, stumbling, and fumbling, but I tell you what, I'm just gonna see this for Robert Pattinson because that's Batman right there. So
I like that casting, but I do mean, like, I think that there's 4 engagements at least before Agincourt, and like because they get stuck there obviously, and all the French they want their glory so much that they don't tell like their other Duke cousins and stuff because they're afraid there's not going to be like enough Englishmen to kill. So like they all like think it's going to be like a turkey shoot, and they end up going there and finding out the hard way about fucking running horses through mud and good old English longbowmen. And then they end up not being able to follow any chivalric law because they couldn't have any prisoners, so it went downhill pretty quick. But my point is we could see quite a bit of action here, and if you liked Outlaw King, I think that we're going to see a lot more. I just want to get one more look at Robert Pattinson though, because
do it.
There's other French people in here, and I'm not French, but I mean, come on. What the is that Edward from Twilight? Jesus, man.
It's Edward's father.
Like, why has he got I mean, that doesn't make any sense. If I was him, I would have fought against that. Like, because he is a good actor in my opinion, but he has there's like a little bit of a stigma about him because of Twilight. So like, if I was in this film, they'd be like, hey, we're gonna paint you up like a lady. He's like, I'd be like, no, you're not. And they're like, look at the other French guys. They're not like that. Like, he is a dead man. Like what the?
He's playing Joan of Arc. He looks like Legolas had a baby with Aragorn.
And he's gonna fight on this Crispin's Day against those merry band of brothers.
Exactly. That's it, God, man.
They're like, imagine.
You figured it out.
I think Henry said something along the lines of, "Guys, I'm so sorry. We should have got out of here a lot sooner. We are fucked." But yeah, no, it would have been great if he really was over there, and the French heard him. They're like, what are they yelling about? They're like fucking leather workers, and they're gonna brag about the scars they get to other people on Crispin's Day. St. Crispin's Day, Crispian, the day of Crispian and Crispin. They were beheaded by Dalatrition.
I think so.
Dollar
I
Tree.
don't know.
Yeah, the Roman Emperor. I'm whatever. Sorry, we'll get a linguist on. But yeah, they were the patron. They were cobblers and all this, and they got beheaded. So there's no joke. But it's October 25th, and St. Crispin's Day is like the main pitch for the battle. Like they're like, you're gonna go there, you're gonna fight guys, but you're gonna get scars. And he specifically says on the upper arm, you shall lift your sword on Crispian's Day to like some other gentleman, I guess, and you can be like, look at this, and they're like, oh, did you get that on Crispin's Day? He's like, I did, in Agincourt. And everybody's like, oh, that's gonna be sweet, that's worth going into this battle for. I'm like,
can imagine them all.
You had
Excuse
me
me,
at the
sir.
scar.
Cut me on the
you
cut me on the shoulder.
You promise, King Henry? You promise that I can show my scars to other cobblers and old men? Yeah, what is the exact? It is when because other gents, he's pretty much saying that you're gonna like get a lot of ass, you know what I mean, because you fought over in Agincourt, like, and you can show other people. I'm like, you sold me, you had me at scars, you know what I mean?
Basically, it makes me think that the two sides just, no one knows what really happened. They just meet up, cut each other a little bit, give each other some scars, say, hey, tell everybody we fought, and then they can all go back and get laid.
Well, that would be my concern, because I would have said, hey, Henry, what are we doing about the legitimacy of the scars? Are there going to be precautions put into place in some sort of a way to assure I can have these glories of telling old men about my scars? Where does he say? Really quick. Okay, and say tomorrow is St. Crispian, then we will go.
There's nothing that gets a. Oh, go ahead.
Then he'll strip his sleeve and his scars and say, these wounds I had on Crispin Day, and say these wounds are old men forget, yet all shall be forgot. But he'll remember with advantages what feats he did that day. Then our name shall be familiar in his mouth as household words. Like, so again, it's like speaking to another male about your scars.
Nothing gets a cod piece off faster than a scar on Crispin's Day.
I hope he really lets us show other men our scars. So no, it's a good speech.
That's a secret code for chastity belts.
That's Shakespeare for you, that wacko. But no, all jokes aside, it is a very fucking badass speech, because it states, if you want to fucking leave because you don't want to fucking die, you bitch, like, you think you're too good to die with us, we don't want you here, because we don't want to die amongst the likes of you. We'll send you with some fucking crowns and proper fucking passage, because we are a fucking band of brothers. Like, it has a lot of badassery in it, but then there's a mix of cobblers, leather workers, and scar showing to men on a further date. So it's a
that just throws me off every time you say that. I can't get used to it. Just leather. I mean, I can't think of anything but weird videos on the internet when you say.
Well, no, I mean, it's very hard to do. Like, my dad was a custom knife maker, and he had to make the sheets, and I told him about Crispian. And I said, Dad, on St. Crispin's Day, you shall tell other men, and they shall cower to your scars. I'm like, that he doesn't want to fight with you, Dad. And I'm like, no, essentially, they told everybody that, they killed chivalry that day. And then that guy had all of his fucking lipstick on. So, yeah, sorry, Rob Pats. But, yeah, I think he is a vampire there. So that's an interesting choice. If I was his publicist or his agent, I'd be like, hey, dude, what are you doing to my actor?
Like Dennis Reynolds in a powdered wig? Yes!
Oh, it's fine. We're just making him a lady. Okay, well, we're kind of trying to curb that, like,
get my wooden teeth.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with it, but I mean, this is just I think it's a certain Duke, but again, yeah, I wouldn't have took that role if I was him.
I'll check that out. It looks pretty good.
Outlaw King was pretty badass.
It was really. I enjoyed the shit out of that. I'm actually on my Patreon going to talk about that.
And Henry V is like a fascinating king. He's the king that all the other Henrys and Henry VIII, but the Henrys before him sucked, and Henry V was the shit. He got in as a young kid, and he ended up fucking whooping ass. Everybody wanted to be like Henry V because of Agincourt, and like that could have very easily been very bad. Like, he could have been a laughing stock. But that's why you have Bologna and attacked by Henry VIII because he wants all the kings. You know, they know that he was known for Agincourt, and they have to be warrior kings and all this. They had the Battle of the Spurs. Henry VIII does very in his youth, you know, and he's trying to like recreate all this. All the kings yearned, even not all the princes across Europe yearned to be like this gent right here. So it's, you know, it's just one of those situations where that could have went very, very badly for Henry V. But yeah, also side note, when Henry VIII got back from the Battle of the Spurs, where they just chased some Frenchmen off, his wife Catherine had pushed the Scottish back from the border and won a bigger battle, so he wasn't too pumped about that. So yeah, everybody yearned to be this man. They yearned to have his lusty scars on Crispian's Day. And remember, people, it's only 15 days away. Get yourself something nice, and get a gentleman something nice, especially if he goes up and shows you his upper arm. So Johnny, let everybody know where they can find you, and like literally, and yeah, we will be going here. Let's see what we got here.
Well, you can find me at Johnny B. Crazy. You can find me at the Cylon Johns and Jills. You can find me at the Geek Folk One YouTube channel. You can find me, I think I got another channel somewhere, but forget about it. Just go check me out on Johnny B. Crazy. Got a lot of fun stuff coming up. The Chronicles of Fire and Blood. Just made a nice little intro for that. Be looking out for the promo coming out on social media. That'll be coming out late next week sometime with Bravosi Broadcast. Yeah, it's going to have a lot of fun stuff coming up. Going to be covering Watchmen with Dornish Winch, and see if I can get some Random Doomsday in action. And let's see. Yeah, man. Talking about all the new shows coming out, everything from Expanse to Vikings to Watchmen.
You guys heard him. He said everything. So
everything.
Check Johnny out. He's a fantastic content creator. Speaking about fantastic content creators, I was singing your praises. My brother Kane McKay is here, and I was saying that you gave us a tasty treat earlier with the Vikings breakdown, and you do those wonderful upcoming breakdowns, and I was so happy to see it. I was hoping it was going to come out. I literally was missing your stuff, brother, and the reason that I'm able to even get 1,000 views on a Vikings video is because of Kane McKay. He is the only content creator that was covering it forever. So you made it possible for me to do what I do, Kane. I mean, there's probably a little bit of responsibility and guilt that you're going to have because of that, but also I from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And one of the best content creators out there. Great visual storyteller and a good person. So you got to come back on. He dealt with me rambling. So yeah, somebody that I was happy to work with, and we should definitely do some more stuff. We had a great discussion earlier here. So yeah, Bravosi Broadcast, check them out. I don't know if I have any of these people with a wrench in the old chat. I know that
I used to be able to link stuff without a wrench, but you might have changed that. That can be dangerous.
I gotta take it away from Fandom. Fandom D Saint was in here earlier, but I think that there was some Disney show on that he had to go watch.
It's a CW show.
Yeah.
Get it right.
Well, that's worse. Yeah. Bunch of tweens. It's weird. Let's see. No. Yeah, a lot of good content creators out here. Let me see. I should be able to put Kane's stuff in there, and then we will have a few Peaky Blinders stuff going. And Johnny, were you going to do something on the Fandom 3? Maybe I should speak on that for a minute.
Oh yes, I will be talking about Carnival Row on the Fandom 3. It'll be coming out early next week. I'll be recording this weekend with Mackenzie, and see if I might can get someone else to talk about Carnival Row. So that'll be fun. Nice fun fantasy epic.
Well, yeah, I look forward to it. The Fandom 3, amply named by me, who is unable because of scheduling to get out the videos I need to get out on my channel, so I've had to take a step back. But I've loved what Johnny's done. He did a great piece on The Boys, and the Fandom 3 is a platform that you can find podcasts that Johnny will put out, Mackenzie. It is just a great place for some side projects that we're doing. My Patreons, I've threaded my Peaky Blinders stuff through there publicly, but the rest on my channel is going to be through a different thread because you have to be a Patreon, because I just got a new, very gracious Patreon, and they requested that I had my videos in audio form. And I said I'm always struggling to find a way to have time to create content for Patreon only. So I think that's a fantastic option. So if you do sign up on my Patreon, you can actually get something now. Like, that's fucking good, because I really do appreciate everybody that's stuck with me, because it's very difficult to do. So I hope that you guys do enjoy those audio only casts. My Peaky Blinder videos will be on public as well, just because I had a friend ask me to thread it through. So enjoy it. If you guys are interested in Peaky Blinders, please go ahead and check out my video. People begged me to cover it, and tens of people have watched the video that came out about it. So, but the video from 2 years ago that has the worst video quality, it got compressed too much. It just keeps rising. It's like 13,000 views now. Like I don't know. It's just number like 4 in the search rankings for Peaky Blinders for some reason. I don't get it. And I get 8 comments a day saying, get a better camera. It's just so annoying. It's just so it angers me. I don't get it. But whatever.
So thank you, sir. You're the first one to tell me that. I appreciate everything you've been doing.
One guy said $400 mic, $10 camera, not a good look. I go $110 mic, $30 camera, over compressed. And then he said, bro, I can buy you a camera if you need. And he wanted me to sign up for some weird thing. And I said, no, man, no, thank you, Gigolo. I'll go ahead and get it myself. I don't engage in that type of behavior.
You don't want no sugar daddy, bro? What's wrong with you?
Get a lot of that. So yeah, that was like a very early video that I make, but YouTube always finds a way to screw me. The key to getting high search rankings is make a video that you regret. They'll fucking promote it.
No doubt, man.
Oh yeah.
It happens every time.
When you hit live stream by accident on OBS and you're fucking live, you don't know it. Like 50 people show up and they're like, and I get messages like you're live, like it's like you don't market it. But yeah, check out Kane's stuff. Hold on, I'm about to put it in there. Check out Johnny's stuff. Check out Mackenzie L. Burns stuff. We will be doing Westworld stuff, and also I'm going to have a Ironborn stream with Crowfood's daughter from the Disputed Lands a week. On the 21st, I believe. Let me check. Hold on. Okay, yep. It should be let me get that double checked. But yeah, what we're going to be doing is, I don't know if you guys have seen her channel. It's fantastic. And her knowledge about the Ironborn specifically is fucking amazing. She has such great insight into it. So I'm putting together a stream where I'm going to, provide her with a few different depictions of sea raiders and pirates and Vikings throughout mythologies and our own historical accounts, and see where the inspirations are drawn from for the Ironborn, because I never really cared for the Ironborn as a as a faction or whatever, as a culture in A Song of Ice and Fire, meaning I was never just intrigued by them until I started watching her videos, and it's really fascinating stuff. So there's a lot of ties from monomyth and all these great mythologies, and a lot of stuff from history as well that she's going to be able to bring to light. And it's a real pleasure to have her on the channel. She was the reason that I got to do the Con of Thrones. So wonderful young lady, and happy to have her on. And then Johnny and me and Mackenzie as well, and then Robert from In Deep Geek will be doing some Westworld stuff sooner. And also Hacks and Axel. Probably around December we'll start. Johnny, does that sound about right?
Yeah, that's fine with me, man. I've been needing to. Yeah, I need to do some Westworld stuff anyway. I'm ready for it.
I'm trying to get Keen's link here. And
Das favorite show.
What's that?
Westworld. At this point, that's about my favorite show out right now. Besides that and Expanse.
Expanse is so good,
so fucking good, man.
I'm looking forward to some Jesse Pinkman, man, some Aaron Paul, El Camino too. I should have pitched.
I'm trying not to go on a diatribe about the Ironborn. Got me thinking about.
Man,
so many crazy. Yeah, if you look into them, that's some deep stuff. And Crowfood's daughter. It's amazing.
Well, they're not really the go-to, right? Especially for like when investigating these cultures within A Song of Ice and Fire. You usually go to the Andals, and you go over to, if you're gonna go to, especially dynasties, because obviously the Ironborn are not just the Greyjoys, but you got the Barrowtons, and you got what, like 3-4 different like ruling classes or ruling families, I mean, throughout time, right? The Barrows,
the Barrow Kings, and then
I want to say something with an H, but their mythology and their
House Horror was one. I mean, there's House Horrors from the Ironborn. If that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, the point is they merge over with the Riverlands and so forth at an early date, but you don't have as many big name families that are present in the A Song of Ice and Fire proper. To draw from, other than the Greyjoys, and the Greyjoys to a lot of people aren't all that fascinating. But man, I watched 2 of her streams before the con, and I was just I was all in on the Ironborn, baby. So yeah, I linked Kane's stuff, and I can't recommend it enough. Whenever I make a video with a huge clear mistake, it's one that gets promoted the most. Oh yeah, but your huge mistakes are like, come on, man. You got it on lock, Kane. But yeah, they do screw you pretty bad.
Every time I fart in a video, it just goes.
Johnny,
goes trending,
we're
man.
trying to be professional here.
Oh, sorry.
Honestly, with your pagan fucking, oh man, with all your rhetoric.
That's how you got to start fire. You got the wind, the fire, a little bit of water.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, well, I think
Earth.
Yeah, Earth. Yeah.
And spirit comes out. Spirit comes out of the fart too. You got all 5 elements. And
there you go.
A human poot.
There you go, guys. There you go.
I have just classed up this stream.
No, that's why sometimes just being a drunk's way better than smoking a lot of weed. You know what I mean? Because that type of fucking train. You're perfect, brother. And you killed me in the pitch. And I'd like to think of myself as a little bit of a snake oil salesman. So you wrecked me, mostly because I didn't prepare. But I'll get you next time. So, in Kane, you're always welcome to come on. I'd love to do any type of collaboration when it comes to Vikings with you, because you are the fucking Kane when it comes there. And that's why probably you did in the name. But we wouldn't be able to do, even the small numbers that I get for Vikings if you wouldn't have created a place for it on this platform. So thank you, brother. And Johnny, thank you. And thank everybody for coming and dealing with our goofiness and all that. But we got some shit going on, people, just because Game of Thrones. And remember, you fucking woke up breathing every morning before. And, you're going to keep on breathing, even if he doesn't get those books out. So yeah, make sure to subscribe, guys. Check out the Patreon, please, for $3 a month. That would hopefully be barely noticeable to you. It makes a huge impact for me. And, I'm not trying to get rich making content. I'm just trying to stop going broke. Thanks again, Johnny, and we'll talk to you guys soon.